all the people here that represent a DOE, for example, do not have the authority to make a decision. A fundamental decision as to what is to be done and what is not to be done. You're taking notes like you have the authority, but I know you don't. And all you do is pass on the information to somebody who's not here who makes the decision. I mean, Bill may have at one time had a little bit of authority in Rocketdyne, but I'm sure LaFlamme was the final decision and all of that. So he was the only one that ever showed up to any of these meetings that had any authority to make a decision. And of course, being for a Rocketdyne official, he's not doing anything for the public benefit.
You have more comments on building minority channel?
It fits in with the whole thing, you know. You have to go in with independent people, not Rocketdyne, and not you DOE people either. But get somebody who's independent. Greg Dempsey, let him go in and test for the radioactivity. And perhaps there's some people in DTSC that would be good for testing for the chemical toxicity that's still there. And then you use the 10 to the -6 risk level of EPA to figure out. And somebody mentioned about the previous speaker about land. What's involved here is simply money, you know, and it's a matter of hauling stuff away. At one point, to meet the standards that you were going to do, something like 5,000 cubic yards were moved away. That's a lot of land, a lot of earth, so forth. But to meet 10 to the -6 EPA standards would take 100,000. And that means a lot more truckloads. And then you holler about the problems of auto accidents. We'll have too many trucks, and the auto accidents compared to the number of people dying of cancer some years downstream has to be compared in some kind of a way. That's nonsense. And that's the way it goes. You haven't cleaned it up to the right standards, this building or any of the other ones. And to think that you can clean it up and then walk away and do this responsibly, you know, it's simply not so. To walk away from that site, as DOE plans to do, without cleaning it up to the highest possible thing. Don't forget, this was pristine land to begin with, you know. And Rocketdyne came up with it, and it was DOE, and they contaminated the whole place. You know, they made a lot of money doing it. And so there's no way you can clean it up so that it's in the pristine condition that it was in the first place. But certainly you can do your best, make your best effort. You're familiar with the water monitoring problem we've had over the years of filtering the water and then measuring the contamination and throwing the filter away. Well, there's nothing wrong with filtering the water, but if you do, you've got to measure the contamination you caught in the filter. That they haven't done for years, and as far as I can gather, still aren't doing it. Well, that's the chemical part of things. The radioactivity part, that's another matter. That the analysis and the way the samples are taken, you're going to take radioactive samples, all right? You go here, you go here, you go there. Some other place and take samples a couple feet below the ground or something, and think you've done it. Not so, according to Greg Dempsey. You need something much more than that, and you have to go down to different levels, and it's an expensive process. If you examine that, the contamination that's left there, and you might say acceptable values, it's going to cost you one whale of a lot of money, a whale of a lot more than you're willing to spend. And that's the big problem that the public have. You won't spend it. You use your bureaucratic power to hammer us with these dog and pony shows all the time. You quit coming to the work group meetings because you got clobbered every time you came, and for what you were doing. So you quit coming, and now you have your own. You had your own meetings, and it's another indication of the kind of things that's involved here. No, I'm just blowing off steam at the moment, but you know, You haven't listened to us, like I said, for 18 years. There's no reason for you to listen to us now. And you're not going to listen to anything I've said anyway. So, at any rate, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next. Liz?
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Crawford. I run the website rocketdynewatch.org, and I worked for several years for Ventura County Supervisor and required necessary environmental aid on this issue as well. I have several questions. I'd like to go back to the top because, you know, I certainly would like a bit more data, please. You say that our radioactive materials handling facility was a collection point for radioactive material, waste packaging, decontamination, and off-site shipment, that sort of thing. Can you tell me the sources of material, where the materials came from that were collected there and handled, please? And how about if Phil answers the question, since he's worked there for how long? I'm sorry, Phil?
We clarified that they're going to answer the question.
Well, I think they should.
Are you?
Excuse me, I think they should.
Yes, there is.
Phil, how long have you worked there, please? By the way, Phil Rutherford is the only remaining member of from what was the original team since at least the 70s. Steve McLam, who was mentioned as being one of the decision makers, is retired. And then Michelle Lee, who was also very pivotal in the operations of the site and knowledgeable about a lot of this stuff, also retired last year. So Phil is sort of the last of the originals. So that's why I asked you to answer.
Thank you for that introduction, Liz. Is this on?
Yeah.
Good.
If you would start, please, Phil, with when you did start working there and what your responsibilities were, just briefly, because it is directly related since this is our last opportunity. I mean, this is quite a nuclear era that's ending here, and the last few buildings are sort of our last chance to really get the whole record. So thank you, Phil.
Okay, sure, I can do that. I first started working for Rockwell International back in 1978, and initially I worked down in the DeSoto facility. I was a safety analyst. I did.
If you would outline what the DeSoto facility does and where it is, please.
It's on the corner of Nordhoff and DeSoto. It's just on the boundary of Canova Park and Chatsworth. And I started off as a
What
safety.
does the DeSoto facility do?
This is an RMHF comment meeting, not a DeSoto facility comment meeting.
But
Explain what you
I
asked
do
me to
believe that
explain.
DeSoto, excuse me, the reason that it is directly related, please, is that I do believe that some of the materials from the DeSoto facility were handled up there, which was the basis for my first question, which is where did the wastes come from? So thank you, Phil.
I started off as a safety analyst. I did risk analysis
What
and
did the
reliability
DeSoto
analysis.
facility do?
I'm sorry, Liz, I thought you first started to ask me what I did and when I was working, when I
But
started.
Just let me try to clarify. Stop with the introductions.
All right.
Liz's question
I
is.
see, I'm sorry, but that, before you moved on from the DeSoto facility, I just wanted to get that buttoned up so that we could go on to what it was that you did.
Well, your question, though, is were materials from the DeSoto facility disposed of at RMHF, right?
And then I asked Phil, please, to answer, and then I was interrupted, and I apologize. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. The DeSoto facility was used by Atomics International. That was the organization that ran the DeSoto facility and Area 4 of Santos Zen. They were a division of Rockwell International. Prior to that, they were a division of North American Aviation. The DeSoto facility was opened in, I believe, 1960, and it was used for nuclear research. We did manufacture nuclear fuel there, and that's well known.